work is more than just a way to pay the bills. Our social lives, how we feel about ourselves, are tied to our jobs. What we do gets confused with who we are. And too often, people retire from their jobs, never thinking about what they are retiring to. If Hollis Johnson had ever allowed himself time to fantasize about retirement, those fantasies more likely would have involved long walks on white sandy beaches than walks on a treadmill in a cardiac rehab center.
I'd pop up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, be all showered and dressed, out of here by 6:30, and in a hospital before 7. It was stop by the doctor's table and eat a couple of sausages and biscuits, things that weren't good for my heart. I never thought I would retire. I never thought I would be disabled. Psychiatrists sit on their butts all the time, you know. And as a matter of fact, even with the disabilities I have, I'm not disabled from practicing. I could practice.
During his 34 years of practice as a psychiatrist, Hollis Johnson counseled many patients who had problems related to making the transition into retirement. After a series of heart attacks sped up his decision to retire, he got to see how good he was at following his own advice.
The connection is that people retire and they get disconnected. Disconnected from what? From the people they saw every day, the interactions, the meaningful relationships. And this is amazing how many people, principal meaning relationships are related to work. And they go to work and they go home and watch TV. And then they begin to feel lonely, sad, depressed. And that's when people would seek my counseling for the depression. And the treatment of it becomes of how to become connected again to it. They might be connected to anything, anybody. Leaving a practice, leaving a patients is like leaving home. These are, you know, the patients and friends who've known them for a long time and been involved with working on this problem or that problem, and suddenly you say, I'm going to leave, I'm going to tell you goodbye. And that's, there's a little grief associated with that. It wasn't my part, and I'm sure it wasn't their part.
Mary Johnson looked forward to her husband's retirement as a time when they could be together more, doing just whatever it was they wanted to do.
We've been together, like I said, 43 years, and I've always said goodbye. Children would say, when's Daddy coming home? I'd say, when you hear the garage door go up. It was 9 o'clock yesterday.
Hollis Johnson set January 1st, 1985 as his retirement date. By January 2nd, he was out working again.
Here you are now, what are you going to do? God, I don't have to get up in the morning. I don't have to go to work. There's something wrong. I feel guilty. So they're having a crisis out of the prison, and Ed Tyler at 7 Counties calls me and asks, oh, I hear you're retired. Could you help out here? And, oh, God, that's something to do. That's great.
A year and a half and more heart problems later, he forced himself to make his decision to retire stick.
Here I am, having not done all of the things that I counsel people to do through my psychiatric practice for years. I didn't plan for it. I know how I'm going to spend my time.
It is at this point in retirement that Hollis Johnson, while still in psychiatric practice, would hear from spouses of retirees.
It's driving me crazy. You know the old saying, I married him for life, not for lunch. He's around, he's looking over my shoulder all the time. He tells me a better way to do it. He thinks it's a better way, or whatever.
All my friends told me that it was so difficult. Like he just said, I married him for better or for worse, but not for lunch. And that seems to be the biggest problem with my lady friends, with their retired husbands, that they feel they need to be home to make lunch for their husband. I'm quite happy to have him at home. He doesn't get in my way because I still go do the things that I like to do. And the nicest thing recently is he's learned how to open a can. And really learn how to punch the microwave.
I can see hands be lending a fuse when your light is gone. You can stand by the fireside Sunday morning, silver and rice, doing a garden.
What was the hardest part of the transition to retirement?
It's been so gradual.
It's so
I can
gradual that,
say this part or that part was hard, or not hard. It's just how you see yourself. You know, here I went to medical school and I got out over 40 years ago, and I've seen myself as a physician, important, respected, with power, to making good money, better money than I ever hoped I would make in my life. And suddenly the bingo just stopped that. And that brings up the question, who am I, or what am I? And maybe through this time of life we get the who and the what confused, And I try to do this through my life, to see myself as a person separate from my work. That I had value and meaning, and I was important, not because I was a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, but because I am me.
What about carving out a new lifestyle?
I'm not going to change my lifestyle at 65 years of age. It's going to be the same lifestyle. And I don't have to feel guilty I've got a little cabin out on Belmont Beach, for going out there and sitting on the riverbank, watching the river, and the birds. Or do the same thing in the backyard here. You don't have to do a lot to take care of your time. There are people who never learn how to have fun, to enjoy themselves. And you don't have to do a whole lot to have fun. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go to Hawaii.
we take the National Geographic.
Or to Australia. Or you have fun right here in your backyard, in your own bedroom, or living room, or wherever.
Oh, we have lots of fun. I think what we really like to do is play gin rummy. And when I'm winning, he wants to play longer and longer. He never wants to quit because he wants to win.
Give me your answer, build in a song, mine forevermore. Oh, will you still need me? Will you still feel me when I'm 60 home?
It used to